Before you listen to this story, let me warn you, if you've ever played a video game late at night, alone with the lights off, you might have felt something watching you from behind the screen. Most people ignore that feeling. I didn't. I played Sonic at 3 a.m., and something inside the game became aware of me. Something that doesn't belong in pixels or code. Something that still moves around my apartment when the lights go out. So, if at any point during the story, you hear scratching, whispering, or something shifting behind you, don't turn around. Because if you look, it might finally see you too. I never believed in 3 a.m. challenges or creepy game rumors. I always thought those videos were fake, scripted nonsense made for cheap clicks. But now I can't even walk past my TV without feeling watched. And I can't hear the Sonic theme without shivering. The nightmare started 2 months ago. It was a boring night, the kind where the silence in your apartment feels heavier than usual. I couldn't sleep, and the storm outside kept rattling the windows like someone trying to get in. I was restless, pacing around, scrolling my phone, until I saw an old post in a retro gaming forum. Play Sonic 1 at 3 a.m. and access the debug door. The replies were typical internet creepypasta stuff. Trolls, jokes, fake screenshots, exaggerated comments. But what caught my attention was a single user, not anonymous, posting repeatedly. It's not a glitch. It's a door. And once you open it, it doesn't close. His account was deleted 2 minutes after the last reply. Great marketing tactic, I thought. I didn't think twice. I had the old cartridge. I had the original console. And it was already close to 3 a.m. The storm outside made the atmosphere feel perfect for some creepy fun. Lights off. Just the TV glow. Just me and the night. At 3 a.m. exactly, I powered on the console. The familiar Sega jingle played, but it sounded warped, stretched, like it was being dragged slowly across metal. I shrugged it off. Old hardware. Old cartridge. Glitches happen. The title screen loaded, but without the water animation behind Sonic. Just a black void. That was my first sign. I ignored it. The moment I started the game, the lights in my apartment flickered. A coincidence. Has to be. The game loaded Green Hill Zone, sort of. The colors were wrong. Washed out. Grayish. Dead. Sonic wasn't smiling either, his idle animation missing. He just stood there, staring forward. Not at the camera. At me. But I still convinced myself it was a glitch. A funny, creepy one, but still a glitch. I pressed forward. When Sonic moved, there was no running sound, no jump sound, no rings, just the storm outside and the soft hum of the CRT television. It felt wrong, like the world inside the game was holding its breath. I paused the game. No menu appeared, just the screen freezing, the image warping slightly. Then the screen shook violently, like something inside the game slammed into it. The pause vanished, and Sonic was suddenly gone. Not dead. Not injured. Just gone. The world was empty. Silent. Gray. Then the screen glitched. Hard. For a full 2 seconds, I saw something that made my blood run cold. I saw my living room reflected in the game. Not pixelated. Not stylized. My actual room through the TV. But something was wrong in the reflection. Something blue. A streak. A blur. Darting across the floor behind me, I spun around so fast I almost fell. Nothing. Just darkness and the storm-lit window. I turned back to the TV. A new message appeared across the top of the screen. Don't look away. I froze. The message blinked, as if waiting. Then the game forced a level transition. The title card appeared. Debug room, 3:03 a.m. My heart sank. I never accessed debug mode. There was no cheat. No button combination. Nothing should have triggered this. The screen faded in slowly, like a curtain being drawn. A small room appeared. No rings. No enemies. Just a mirror. Pixelated but unmistakable. Sonic stood in front of it, facing away from the camera. I tapped the controller. Sonic didn't move. I tapped again. Still nothing. The rain outside went silent. The hum of the TV disappeared. My apartment felt vacuumed, like the air had been sucked out. And then Sonic turned around. Not in his cute, snappy animation. Not smoothly. He rotated slowly, deliberately frame by frame, until he was staring straight out of the screen. His eyes were wrong. Not black. Not glowing red like the typical creepypasta. His eyes were yellow. Feral.
Predatory. Alive.
His smile stretched unnaturally wide, cracking the corners of his mouth. I dropped the controller. It clattered loudly on the hardwood floor, but the TV didn't react. Sonic didn't blink, didn't flinch. His mouth moved. No sound came out of the game, but something whispered behind me. "Don't look away." The voice was low, scratching. Not human. I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to turn the TV off, to leave. But I couldn't. Sonic lifted his hand slowly, pointing at the screen. No. At me. Then the image cut out. Black screen. No music. Then
static.
Not from the TV. From inside the walls. Like something crawling, scratching, pressing its body against the wiring. I reached for the TV's power button. My finger hovered over it. Then the screen came back on by itself. But now the camera wasn't in game. It was showing my apartment from behind me, as if there was a camera inside the TV looking outward. I saw myself standing there, frozen, terrified. Then something moved in the recording. A blue blur crawling along the ceiling behind me. I jerked around instinctively. The ceiling was empty, but the TV still showed it. That blue shape, clinging like an insect, its limbs stretched unnaturally. The image zoomed in. Too close. Too sharp. Far too detailed for any game. I saw its teeth bent wrong. Too many. Its eyes glowing that same unnatural yellow. Then the thing dropped from the ceiling in the video and landed silently behind me. I didn't feel anything. Didn't hear anything. But the TV showed it standing inches from my back, smiling wide enough to tear skin. I wanted to scream. To move.
To breathe.
But I was paralyzed. Not by fear. By something else. Something pulling at my nerves like puppet strings. The screen flickered, then displayed one final message. Now don't turn around. I didn't listen. I turned. There was nothing. Just cold air and the faint smell of ozone. The screen powered off instantly. The console shut itself down. The entire apartment lights flickered back on. For a moment, I thought it was over. I was wrong. The next day, small scratches appeared on my bedroom door. Not like from a cat. These were long.
Deep. Claw-like.
My TV turned itself on twice that week at 3 a.m. sharp, always showing a brief flicker of blue moving across the screen. I started hearing whispers from inside the vents at night. Always the same phrase. Don't look away. I unplugged the console. Threw the cartridge in the trash. Even tossed the TV. None of it mattered. Because last night, I caught something on my phone camera. A glitch. A distortion. A blue blur. Crawling across my ceiling. And now I hear scratching outside my bedroom door again. 3 slow drags. SCRRYYYYK, SCRRYYYYK, SCRRYYYYK.
Right now.
As I write this. If the noise stops, I'll check. But if I don't update this story, you'll know exactly what happened. And you'll understand why. You should never play Sonic at 3 a.m. He's not alone in there. And now neither am I. I used to think corrupted save files were harmless.
A glitch. A bug.
Something annoying that happened when a cartridge got old, or when dust got inside the contacts. I never imagined a save file could feel alive. That it could watch me, judge me, follow me. But after that night, after what happened when I tried to delete that cursed Sonic save, I don't think anything digital is harmless anymore. Maybe nothing ever was. This happened 1 week after the 3 a.m. Sonic incident. I was already a mess, barely sleeping, hearing whispers near the vents, seeing blue streaks in the corner of my eye, and feeling watched in my own apartment. I kept telling myself it was stress, lack of sleep, paranoia, anything but reality. But then my console turned on by itself at 2:59 a.m. I heard the click, the gentle hum, the TV lighting up the dark living room. That sound cut through me like a knife. I forced myself to get out of bed. My body felt heavy, numb, resistant, like something in the dark was pushing back against me. I stepped into the living room, expecting to see the console glowing. But it wasn't. The console was unplugged. Completely unplugged. Yet the TV displayed the Sonic title screen anyway. Not the normal one. This one had no logo. No music. Just Sonic standing alone in the center, motionless, staring straight ahead. His eyes were yellow again. Not glowing. Not animated. Just present. Like eyes of a real creature caught inside the display. I don't remember grabbing the remote. I don't remember sitting on the floor. I just remember the TV flickering and pulling me into this silent, suffocating moment where the only sound was my own heartbeat. Then something new appeared. A save file. One I had never created. File 3 to 3 a.m. midnight. I see you. Every hair on my body stood straight up. I hadn't touched the console since I threw the cartridge away. This save file shouldn't exist. I tried to turn off the TV. Nothing happened. I pressed the power button on the console. Nothing. I unplugged the TV from the wall. It stayed on. Then the cursor moved on its own. Slowly. Deliberately. Hovering over file 3. A new message appeared below it in burning red text. Don't delete. My voice cracked as I whispered into the empty room. Why? What do you want from me? The lights flickered. The cursor froze. And the screen went black. After a long moment, white text appeared in the center. Look behind you. Every instinct in my body screamed at me not to. I held still, muscles shaking, breath shallow. But something moved behind me. A soft scraping sound. Claws? Metal? Nails? Whatever it was, it dragged across the wall slowly, deliberately. I forced myself to turn. Nothing was there. Just the dark hallway. I turned back toward the TV. Sonic.exe's face filled the entire screen. Not pixelated. Not stylized. Photoreal. Veins in the eyes. Wet shine on the teeth. Breath fogging the inside of the screen. He whispered. Not through TV speakers, not from the hall, but inside my head. Delete me. I delete you. The screen flickered violently, like something inside it was hammering to get out. Then, the option to delete the file appeared. I should have left. I should have smashed the TV. I should have burned everything right then. But fear makes you do stupid things. My hand moved on its own, trembling as I selected delete. A warning popped up. Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure you're sure?
Yes.
You're making a mistake. I pressed yes again. The screen went dark. Silence swallowed the room. Then,
a sound.
Not from the TV. Not from the walls. From inside the floor. Scratching. Soft at first like a mouse. Then louder.
Strong.
Aggressive. As if something was carving its way upward through the wood. I backed away slowly, breath shaking. The TV clicked back on. The save file remained. But now the save name had changed. I warned you. Before I could react, Sonic's sprite appeared in the save file menu. But he wasn't idle. He was running, not inside a level, not on a map, but directly toward the front of a screen. The entire menu screen warped, stretching and bending like a sheet of rubber. Sonic slammed into the inside of the display with a violent crash, leaving cracks in the glass. I screamed and stumbled backward. The cracks spread like spiderwebs across the TV. Through them, I could see something behind the glass. Movement. Blue fur.
Teeth.
Claws tapping impatiently. Then the TV shook. Something inside it hit the screen again. Crack. 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 Like it was trying to break out. Stop, I whispered. Please stop. For the first time, the thing listened. The TV froze. The cracks sealed. Everything went still. Then Sonic reappeared in the save menu, now standing completely still. His head twitched. His smile widened. He pointed upward. I didn't understand at first. Then I heard it. Something heavy shifting on the ceiling. Soft scuttling. Scratching. I looked up slowly. and something blue darted across the ceiling and into the hallway. My heart stopped. That wasn't a glitch. Wasn't a reflection. Wasn't my imagination. That thing was physically in my apartment. I grabbed the flashlight. Every room felt colder than the last. Every shadow too thick. Every corner too deep. When I reached the bedroom, the door was half open. Inside, something breathed, slow, heavy, raspy. Who's in there? Stupid question. I already knew. I pushed the door open slowly. The flashlight flickered violently, then died completely. But I still saw him. Not with my eyes. With instinct. A shape crouched in the far corner. Small. Fast.
Wrong.
Two yellow eyes opened in the dark. Then the room shook violently as something skittered across the ceiling again, circling above me like a predator deciding how to strike. I ran. I locked myself in the bathroom, gripping the sink with white knuckles. Everything outside fell silent. Then, slowly, the doorknob began to turn. Not shaking. Not forced. Just turning.
Calm.
Patient. I kicked the door and yelled, "Stay away from me." The turning stopped. Silence. Then, the TV turned on again in the living room. I heard the Sega jingle, but this time, it wasn't warped. It was perfect. Crisp. Cheerful. Too cheerful. The screen displayed a new message, louder than before, echoing through the apartment. "Come back." I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Then the message changed. Or, "I come in." I realized then, the console wasn't the problem. The cartridge wasn't the problem. The save file was the problem. Something existed inside it. Something intelligent. Something hungry. And deleting it only angered it. I opened the bathroom door. The hallway lights flickered violently. The TV's glow painted the walls blue. I approached slowly, flashlight dead in my hand. On the screen was Sonic, no longer in pixel form. He looked almost human now, covered in glitch fragments and blue fur. Eyes blazing that same unnatural yellow. His mouth opened unnaturally wide as he whispered, "You shouldn't have deleted me." Then the power in the whole apartment went out. Pitch black. My heartbeat was the only sound. Then breathing. Not mine. Right behind me.
Slow. Deep. Wet.
I didn't turn. I couldn't. Every instinct felt pinned by unseen claws. The breathing grew louder, until it was right at my ear. Then a whisper. I made a backup. The lights snapped back on instantly. The TV displayed 3 save files. File 1, I see you. File 2, I feel you. File 3, I'm here. All 3 had identical thumbnails. A live feed of my face, in real time from inside the room. I'm going to tell you something that still makes my skin crawl whenever I think about it, something that feels like it branded itself into my brain. And before you think this is some silly 3 a.m. challenge gone wrong story, trust me, I wish it were that harmless. Because what I experienced wasn't a glitch, wasn't a dream, and wasn't some corrupted data. It was intentional. Someone or something wanted me to open that game at exactly 3 a.m. And the moment I did, it already knew everything about me. I've always been a night owl, the kind who feels more alive when the world is dead asleep. So when I found an old Sega Genesis in a dusty cardboard box in my uncle's attic, I felt like I'd discovered buried treasure. Alongside it was a stack of old cartridges, standard Sonic, Sonic 2, everything you'd expect. Except one. A black cartridge. No label. No writing. No logo. Just a single red sticker over the front edge, with one word written on it. Play. No one in their right mind would plug that thing in, right? Well, I'm not right mind material. I've always been too curious for my own good. I shrugged, tossed it in my backpack, and brought everything home. That night, more out of boredom than bravery, I decided to power up the old console and see if the nameless cartridge even worked. It didn't. At least, not at first. I blew into it, tapped it a few times, even shook it like an idiot. Finally, on the 8th or 9th try, the screen lit up. But instead of the classic Sega logo, the TV flickered with static, heavy, loud, almost violent. And then something appeared. A black screen. White text. 3 words. It's 3 a.m. I checked the time on my phone. 3 a.m. on the dot. My stomach dropped. There was no way the console should have been able to know the time. The Genesis didn't have an internal clock. Yet the text flickered again. Welcome back, my name. I froze. My name. My actual name. Not my username. Not my nickname. My real name. I stood up so fast the controller yanked from the console port. I should have unplugged everything. I should have thrown the cartridge in the trash. But I didn't. Because after a few seconds, the screen changed again. It showed the classic Sonic title screen, except wrong. The colors were too dark. Sonic's expression wasn't the smiling pose everyone knows. His eyes were pitch black, and he wasn't smiling. He was waiting. Then, slowly, a faint grin stretched across his face. Pixelated but unmistakable. Too wide. Too human. The title options appeared. Start. Load file. Don't turn around. I swear my heart stopped for a second. I was alone in my room. Door locked. Lights off except the glow of the TV. And then, as if to taunt me, the option don't turn around glitched and flickered. I didn't turn around. I refused to. With shaking hands, I selected load file. Because part of me needed to know how far this thing went. How much it knew. One single saved file appeared. File 01. My name. 3 a.m. There is no universe where this should have existed. But I pressed A. The game began. It was Green Hill Zone but drenched in darkness. The sky was an unnatural deep red. The palm trees didn't sway, they were stiff like corpses. And there was no music. Sonic stood at the start of the level, facing away from the screen, staring into the distance, not moving. I pressed right. He didn't move. I tried jumping. Nothing. Then text appeared on screen. Stop making me move. My chest tightened. My hands felt cold. I hadn't even moved him yet. Then Sonic slowly turned toward me, face first, then body, like a puppet being rotated by invisible hands. His eyes were still black. But as he leaned closer to the screen, 2 small red pupils blinked into existence.
He was looking at me.
Then another message appeared. You shouldn't be here. I didn't know what else to do, so I pressed right again. This time, Sonic sprinted forward, violently fast, faster than any version of the game I'd ever seen. The environment blurred, twisted, then melted into static before snapping into a different level. Not Green Hill. Not Chemical Plant. A hallway. A long, narrow, dim hallway. Textured with gray walls that looked too detailed to be from a Genesis cartridge. Sonic stood in front of it, motionless. Footsteps echoed somewhere within the hallway. Not from the speakers. From inside my room. My breath hitched. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight, sweeping the room. Nothing. But the footsteps in the game continued.
Slow.
Dragging. Getting louder. I tried to exit the level, but there was no pause button. There were no controls. Just Sonic and the hallway. The shadows on the walls flickered like something was moving inside the game. Then text appeared. Come closer. Against every instinct screaming at me to stop, I pressed forward. Sonic walked. Slowly. The footsteps grew louder in my room the closer he got to the hallway. Like something invisible was pacing the carpet near my door. A shadow leaned out from the end of the hallway in the game. Not a character I recognized. Not any sprite I'd ever seen. A tall, crooked shape. Humanoid, but stretched too thin. Like someone had taken a person and pulled their limbs to unnatural lengths. It beckoned. Then whispered, yes, whispered through my TV speakers. I remember you. I jerked back, heart pounding so hard I felt dizzy. This wasn't possible. This couldn't be happening. But then the hallway grew darker and darker, until the only thing visible was Sonic's face, distorted, melting downward like candle wax. The whispering grew louder, layered. Dozens of voices, speaking at once. Come home. Come back. We've been waiting. Suddenly, the screen cut to static. A loud, harsh screeching sound blasted from the speakers. I covered my ears and tried to turn the console off. It wouldn't turn off. The power button did nothing. The TV remote did nothing. Even unplugging the controller changed nothing. The game kept going. The static slowly faded. Sonic appeared again. But this time, he wasn't in a level. He was in a room. A bedroom. My bedroom. Down to the same bed sheets. Same posters. Same lamp. The pixel version of me was lying in the bed. Sleeping. Sonic stood at the foot of the bed, staring directly at the camera.
Then at me.
Then back at the sleeping character. Then text appeared. You look peaceful when you sleep. I slammed the power cord out of the wall. Everything went dark. My breathing was ragged. My room felt colder than it had any right to be. My heart hammered, like the walls were closing in. I checked behind me. Every corner. Every inch. Nothing. I sat on my bed for nearly 30 minutes, trying to calm myself. Trying to believe it was all some insane hallucination brought on by exhaustion. I almost convinced myself, until my TV turned on again.
Completely on its own.
The screen was black.
Silent.
Then a single white line of text appeared. You shouldn't have unplugged me. I tried to leave my room, but the door wouldn't open. The knob wouldn't turn. Behind me, the TV flickered. The screen zoomed into Sonic's face, his black eyes, his red pupils, his widening grin. Then he whispered, "Turn around." I didn't. I refused. I kept my back to the TV and shoved the door with everything I had. The whispering intensified. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. I felt hot breath on the back of my neck. The door suddenly flew open, and I stumbled out. I sprinted down the hallway so fast, I nearly slipped at the stairs. My parents' room light flicked on, and they asked what happened, but I couldn't explain.